Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw, and I'm here with Jason Block, who is the CEO, and Bonnie Lee, who is the president of Travel Quest Network. Now, Travel Quest Network is a large host agency. It has offices in Atlanta, I believe, and in Minneapolis. And we're going to talk to them about their host agency and also a new program that they just put out where they're not just hosting independent contractors, but they're hosting full travel agencies as well. We're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, first of all, how are you both and where are you both? Because they're in different cities. Bonnie, where are you?
All right, we're in Minnesota, and I know you said Minneapolis, but we're actually in a really small town just about 30 miles west. So I got to give Albertville, Minnesota a shout out.
You should. We New Yorkers, we think it's just Minnesota, Minneapolis out there, and that's where the Vikings are. But we don't. Beyond that, we don't care. But we do care. We do care. Now, Jason, you're in Atlanta area, if I believe.
Yeah, that's right, James. Thanks for having us on. Really appreciate it. I am here in the north burbs of Atlanta, and Bonnie, do not undersell Albertville.
And I'll try not to as much as I said that, because I actually have been to Minneapolis, and I love that area. And years ago, I traveled up there for a while, but it's been a while. And most of the time, Bonnie, I see you at conferences. But of course, in this day and age, and also Jason, I think I've seen you at conferences, and neither one of us can see each other right now, except right now with Zoom. We hope by next year we're all going to be live. But let's talk a little bit about, first, the big news. Travel Quest Network just announced this new associate agency program, and it's aimed at recruiting small agencies, as I said, not just ICs, to become members of the network. And can you both tell us a little bit about this program? Jason, why don't you start?
Yeah, sure. At its core, our belief is that we really need a vibrant agency community. And, over the last several years, we've seen lots of new entrants into the industry, a lot of them individual independent agents, and even a lot of startups and VC-backed companies, especially on the corporate side. And to me, that's a real strong signal that, it's attracting outsiders to join the industry. And even though right now times are tough, we're still seeing new entrants. We're seeing new members join Travel Quest Network as individual agents, but we're also seeing new entrants still with VC backing. We're still seeing companies raise a lot of money. And it's, proof to me that it's a strength signal, despite the challenges we're seeing right now, that people, this is the industry people want to be a part of. Sure. And, so, at its very core, we want to make sure that we're having a vibrant agency community. And, over the years of being a host agency at Travel Quest Network, we've seen a lot of success. I'd say, over the last few years, probably the most successful, the fastest growing host agency in the market. And one of the things that we've seen is as agents grow and they come in with, virtually no experience, as they gain experience and they become pretty successful, and they hit a point, though, where they say, well, what's next? And likewise, as we look out across the industry, we see, agencies that have, a handful of agents, maybe up to 10. They have sales of a few million, maybe up to 10. They want to know what's next. How do I get to that next level? And so what we wanted to do was really create a program that was aimed at that. We want to make sure, at Travel Quest Network, we're building super valuable programs so that agents can grow their business and get to that point of wondering what's next. But then when they get there, to have a really good answer for them. And so that's what our associate agency program is all about.
Absolutely. Now, Bonnie, sort of the same question, but of course you started Travel Quest years ago, mostly as an IC model, if I recall. And now you're trying to make sure you keep some of those ICs, I guess, in the fold as they get bigger. And still need and want your services because, it's still a good gig for them to come and join you. What's your view of this in terms of expanding into actually getting travel agencies hosted as well?
There is, for as long as I've been, being a host agency, there is honestly nothing that is more exciting than watching someone who comes into the industry who really doesn't know anything and watching them blossom. They're building a customer base. They're becoming educated. They're making sales. They're broadening their knowledge base on which suppliers. So that just in and of itself is so gosh darn fulfilling. And then when I watch people who basically are a Bonnie Lee, they've done this and now they're here, I feel like I understand when they get there what that feeling is. And it's just that kind of like-minded individual environment that they're looking to be a part of. It's not that as you sell more, you don't want to have conversations with new people. You do, because they are the lifeblood of the industry. But you also want to have those conversations with people who are experienced, who have had success doing different things. And that, I think, is really the little void, the opening that our associate agency program fills. It's allowing those successful people to have everything they had before, plus meet that new need that success brings. I think that's it.
No, absolutely. And we've always, I think the hosted host model was kind of, where people had maybe a couple of ICs or affiliated sellers that's always existed. But it sounds like you're going for something a little different. Now, of course, we're doing this all in the middle of a COVID-19 crisis. Jason, were you going to launch this program anyway, or you just decided this is probably a good time to do it?
Yeah, we were going back to last year, as we saw more and more agents thinking of questions and agencies thinking of questions about, how do I grow beyond myself? How do I make my team more efficient? How do I make sure I'm using the right tools to grow an agency and not just be profitable? We started developing this program last year in the fourth quarter. And as Q1 rolled around and COVID kind of started exploding, it really made us want to accelerate the development of the program. And, a lot of the programs I'm sure we'll discuss is, about the economics, but, as kind of Bonnie alluded to, it goes beyond that. And what we wanted to do before we really rolled it out in full, which we're now doing, we wanted to make sure that we had all the elements of the program well beyond the economics sorted. The economics, frankly, were the easy part. It's making sure that we have the right solutions when it comes to a suite of booking tools, that we have the right solutions when it comes to how we let our associates work together as a peer group, that we have the right consulting services, we have the right marketing programs. So there's all these other things that go, beyond the economics that, really took the hard work. And, we're really excited to roll this program out now. And, we've had some good initial success through our piloting. And, it's going to be a thing that continues to evolve. We have a lot of ideas on where we want to take the program. So it's not, a one and done and here it is and, we'll never touch it again. These are things that we're working on, all the time.
Yeah. Now, Bonnie, in what ways, going off what Jason just said, what ways do the services that you offer small agencies, the ones that you're targeted, how do they differ from what you offer ICs now, for example? I mean, or really, is there no difference? Or do you have to scale up some of the services because this is a larger entity coming in?
Well, I think, the service is the same. I think that's an important thing. Or I'm saying that wrong. The service level is the same. So anyone who knows of us or who has been a part of us understands what the service level actually is. So that is exactly where it's always been. It's a little bit different when you're looking at an associate agency coming in that has multiple people underneath them. So on the backside, we're wanting to tie them all together so that when they're using a booking tool, it will work exactly the way they want. When they are looking at their accounting tool, it's exactly the way they want. Because you have multiple people, those things do have to get programmed a little bit different. And, everybody is kind of cash strapped now.
Sure.
We don't want.
Well, there's no income, very little income coming in now. I mean, in some cases, I'm lucky. I actually met some travel advisors recently that they're doing some bookings and they're getting some income. But it's hard right now.
Well, and the thing is, we don't want to see people leave the industry.
Mm.
We don't want to see people who have spent years or maybe only a year building their industry or their business. We don't want to see them leave. We want to give them an opportunity to remain in the industry, not only remain and be consistent, but remain and grow and thrive and become better. And those are all the tools that we put in place. And let's face it, it's just about being with people who are just like I am. We all want to be successful. You need camaraderie at this time in our lives. We need it. We need encouragement. Everybody needs that. And so this particular program rolls all that service that people are used to us delivering, pulls that in, and then it gives that human element. I think that maybe some people are missing, or they just want to jack up a bit and really, take it to the next level.
No, and I know Travel Quest a long time, and you built it up where it was really recognized for the human element that you provided, you and Walt and Steph when she was there. It really was a very different kind of host. Now, Jason, tell us a little bit about the sort of specific smaller the agencies that you're targeting to become affiliates. And I think you had 6 that have joined you. I know we can't talk about exactly who's been, although there was one example you gave so far in your test phase. What kind of agencies would be suitable for this program, and basically what are the costs to join, and does it target even small brick and mortars?
Yeah, so okay, a lot there. Let's. There's
a lot there. We'll go one by one. Okay.
Get into that. Just one point on some of the differences. I think the associate agency program is very similar to our individual agent member program, because we think we're delivering a lot of value to them. But there are a few differences, and one of them, if you look at most host agencies, there's an expectation, if not a contractual rule, but certainly an expectation that most agent members are going to essentially have a close to exclusive relationship with a particular host. This program is very different. In fact, we very openly acknowledge and we expect that most of our associate members won't change their industry relationships, be it with a consortium or another host agency. Now, certainly we'd love them, over time, if they're with another host, to join ours, because we think ours is the best. But that's not something we force on them. We think if we deliver enough value, then in the end they can make that determination.
So they can stay. They can stay with their old consortium. You would say.
That's correct. That's correct.
Because you've been affiliated with Travel Leaders Network for quite some time and still are. So that's actually unique. I don't remember anybody ever saying you could. It's usually you can't really control them, but you kind of prefer, as you said, it would be nice if you became part of the fold and stayed with Travel Leaders.
And part of that, James, goes back to the base belief that we want a vibrant agency community, and we think the consortium are an important part of that. And we think there's value that all these different companies could add at different points in the chain. So that I think is one unique aspect to this program. Another certainly interesting or different from our normal individual member program is that we do have a qualification. So it's not open to everybody. We do require a minimum of at least $2 million in annual sales. Now that's pre-COVID, so 2019.
Right.
And generally we're looking, as far as targeting, for agencies up to around 10 million. But what we've seen from the associates that have joined so far, and we have 7 now since we last spoke. We signed.
Oh, there you go. Very good.
Right. Those range. We have a handful towards the lower end of that range in the 3 to 4 million area, but we have one that's over 20 million. So it's not. We're out there targeting that 2 to 10 range as a typical range for what we think makes sense. There's opportunities for all sorts of agencies, and so another kind of key difference in line with not requiring or even expecting people to leave their consortium is we want to make sure that the agency feels that they are in control, because for the most part these are agencies that would have already joined a host network if they thought that was their solution, right? So we're going to offer them a bunch of different programs, but it's up to them to choose the programs that make sense for them. And that could be on a supplier level, or it could be, at a program level for things like marketing. So we're trying to deliver a lot of value. And in the end, we want those agencies to decide what makes sense for their business. Our objective, again, we want a vibrant agent community. We want profitable agencies. In the end, for us, this isn't a charity. I make no bones about that. We're looking to grow our volume, but we really have a desire to see these agencies succeed because, the more players there are in the space, I think that's best for the consumer, and it's certainly best for the agency community as an industry. So that's our aim. And that's how we've structured the program. So
no, that's great, and glad to hear you're getting more on board now. But in that vein, it could be a small brick and mortar, I guess, if it was appropriate.
Yeah. Certainly. Look, right now in the industry, I think the brick and mortar retail agencies are the ones who are under the most pressure to control their costs because as you mentioned, revenue is few and far between at the moment, and so it's really forcing everybody to ask questions that they maybe weren't asking a year ago, and to make choices that they maybe weren't making a year ago. And I think in a lot of cases, it's those retail storefronts that are coming under greater scrutiny. I think it makes sense for certain agencies, and for others, I think they're seeing there's ways that they can acquire customers virtually or digitally. And I think whether you think it's unfortunate or fortunate, depending on your point of view, I think we're going to see more retail closures, in the agency space.
Sadly, I would agree with you. And already I'm seeing drops in ARC numbers, which isn't always a great indicator of everything. Right. But some of the steepest drops in ARC numbers that I've seen for a while. Part of it would seem logical since, everyone's consolidating ARC locations, but even more so now. And, when you used to be hovering about 12,000 ARC and now it just went down to 11.5. So it's I think it's going to take a toll, but those that survive, hopefully, and can affiliate with the right people, such as you, will benefit. Now, in terms of the cost to join, are you working off of a commission split, or are you doing a fee, or how are you doing it?
Yeah, from our perspective, we think this is the best part of the program. A typical host agency structure is built on the concept of a revenue share. But there's usually, a membership fee or some kind of fee structure that goes along with that rev share. The associate agency program is similar. It is based on a rev share, but our pricing, it's something that we determine individually with each associate to kind of see what's right for that business. So it's something we work a custom proposal for. But as far as the fee structure, there aren't any costs to join. We keep a small percentage to cover our administrative costs, but most of the agencies of this size, it doesn't require a whole lot for us to make sure we're covering our costs. But we don't charge, a membership fee. We don't charge a setup fee. There's no fees like that. We do have some more advanced, sophisticated corporate tools that are fee-based based on usage. But as far as, the basic associate joining the program, they don't pay an initiation fee or all, right. The other kinds of fees.
So it's just pretty much rev share at a certain level, right?
Correct.
That's now, Bonnie, and I'll talk to you about this too, Jason. What are some of the specific programs, in the areas that where you can help these small agencies that come in and become associates run their businesses better, find new ways to make money, and really work better with preferred suppliers?
We've got a really great marketing program that they can use, whether it be digital or if they want to do mailers. I think the marketing program is probably the biggest portion of it, and to kind of help them through that, to help them if they aren't used to making a marketing plan. And it is amazing to me how many people don't have a marketing plan, to help them set up a goal and how do you get to your goal. So maybe like a business management person, if they certainly are in need of that. And of course, our back office, our accounting program is fabulous to help them see the programs that they've put in place. Did they work? What do I want to put in place to the future? What do I have to do to get there, to really help them set the goals? I think those are probably the two that chime into my mind that I think are just really great value to people.
No, absolutely. Now, Jason, anything else that you'd like to add in terms of the programs
Yeah.
that people can benefit from,
Sure.
that these agencies can benefit from?
Sure. This is the part that really gets me jazzed up. I used to be in the franchising world, and in franchising, it's all about business systems and making sure you can have scalable growth. And what I really love is that we have an opportunity with these associate agencies who are, at a point in their growth cycle where, we can offer them real world tangible advice on how they can navigate certain things. We can advise them, basically be that sounding board for ideas they might have on how to grow their business. There's certainly defined programs, as Bonnie mentioned, and those, we have a number that we've rolled out, and we have lots more that we're working on, as far as, different services and things like that they could leverage through the program. But I think the key thing is really working with them to build a true agency operating system, a blueprint. And there's a lot of different niches in the industry, but there are some universal truths. So there's some things that you need to do to be successful in the industry. And we see it, over the years, we've bought several agencies. We've looked at, dozens and dozens and dozens, and it's very easy to see what makes up a well-run agency versus one that's struggling. And so we think we can take those learnings and really partner with these folks to work individually with them and help them get from that, 3, 4, 5 million range to that 15, 20, 30 million range. And it might be growing their team from 2 or 3 agents right now to how do they get 10 or 20? And these are things that are very achievable. It just requires a plan, and it requires a program, a system. So I'm really excited about that. I know Bonnie is too. And that's what keeps us coming to work every day.
Well, indeed, your agency today is a result of a merger between Travel Quest and I guess it was World Via Travel Group, and now it became a much bigger entity. Talk a little bit about, Bonnie, if you could, how that deal came about, because I remember meeting you, and I've lost track of time how many years ago that was now, but it wasn't that long ago. But tell me a little bit about that, and Jason, if you can fill in the gaps after that.
Sure.
Well, for Travel Quest, which is what we were before,
Right.
Walt and we did not have an exit plan. We did have an exit plan. It was our children, but as I always tell people, they exited before us, so we were left without an exit plan.
They tend to do that sometimes. It's annoying, I tell you.
They keep their parents on their toes.
Yeah.
But then I and Walt, we both count ourselves to be very, very fortunate to have met Jason and the rest of the team behind World Via. And our personalities worked. They were like-minded individuals like Walt and I would say, honesty, of course. I mean, that's like top notch. You can't, we couldn't do business without that. So, it was honesty. Do you get along with these people? What's their work ethic like? And much like the plan or how we help agencies put that plan forward, how to be more successful. Jason had a great plan like that. And that was a plan that could only really come to fruition with more people up in that top level. And so Walt and I, it was like a no-brainer for us. Our children are incredibly happy. And Walt and I are incredibly, incredibly happy.
No, that's great. No, I remember when you told me about this. And Jason, tell me a little bit about why you thought Travel Quest was a good agencies to work with.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's 2 things, and they're pretty simple. One, and it's what makes it easy, that Bonnie and Walt and the entire Travel Quest Network team, at the end of the day, they care only about one thing, and that's making sure our members are successful, right? So anytime they need something, we're there for them. That doesn't mean we never make mistakes. We're human, right? But at the end of the day, that's what they're committed to. And so, as soon as I could see that, I knew that was the kind of company that we want to work with. The second thing was, looking at the growth of the independent contractor host agency model in the industry, definitely thought that was a space that was going to continue its expansion. It certainly has. But the core thing is it's the people, and it's not just the people at the company or our team, but it's all of our members and how hard they work. And it really is, it's a unique culture, and it's a place where people want to see each other succeed. And so When you see a culture like that, it's something you want to be a part of, whether it's at a business level, at a membership level. It's really exciting. And so that's, in a nutshell, that's what really drew me in.
That's great. Now, is there anything either of you want to say more about the new associate agency program to our 100,000 travel advisor viewers? We'll start with you, Jason.
Well, look, I would say that, really it's an extension of what we think we're doing a great job of already with our individual agent program. Again, there are some differences. The economics are a little different, and we certainly want people, if they think their agency is in that spot where they're, not getting everything that they could get today and they really want to grow their business, those are the kinds of agencies that we want to work with and that we know we can help. But I think that's the core thing. It's really helping people level the playing field, understand what's next for their business.
And Bonnie, anything to add to that?
Gosh, I was just thinking as Jason was talking, I'm like, I got to think of something really dynamite here.
No pressure.
No pressure, thanks. You know what? I think our past, taking individuals coming into travel with absolutely no experience and those individuals becoming successful, I think that as shows the opportunity for someone who comes in who is successful but wants to be more successful, yet that we have a track record of building, working with, standing next to people who want to be successful, people who are like-minded like us, like Bonnie Lee, like Jason. We do not go to work every single day to sit at our desk and go, yes, no, yes, no, yes. That's not it. We're like, what? Tell me what you're thinking. We want to understand our individuals. We want to help them build. It's just a great thing. It's like planting a garden. And
absolutely.
Whoa, all of a sudden, it's like blooming like there's no tomorrow. That's really, from my heart, what I believe that our agency associate program does. It takes people from being transplanted somewhere into a full-blown bed of blooming flowers and a booming business.
Just like the flowers behind you there, though. I don't know.
Yes, exactly.
Now, Jason, where can small agencies go to find out more about the new associate agency program?
Yeah, if people want to learn more, they can just go to travelquestnetwork.com. And there's, depending on if you're an individual or if you're an agency with, multiple agents, you can kind of you'll be directed based on, just searching the site and you'll see the different programs we have available. And there's, a lot of things that we didn't get to touch on, but, invite you to explore those.
Absolutely. Well, good luck with this program. It sounds great. It's always nice to see new programs being developed even amidst crisis. We hope we can emerge from this, but it sounds like you've got a good thing going there.
Thank you. And we will emerge, no doubt.
That's right. Thank you, James.
Thanks, James. See you later.
See you later. And I'm James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.